Hi, this is Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family, and this is episode 135. On today's episode, we have sat down with Mr. Randy Kemp from Jackson, Tennessee, and have talked about his success story. I think it's a unique story that he has. He talks about how long he's been driving a truck, having in his mind becoming an owner-operator one day. Actually had the specific truck that he wanted to buy years ago and then ended up doing it. Just a great guy, great success story of him going from company driver to owner-operator and being successful here at Oakley. And I hope you stay tuned and listen or watch this episode with Randy Kemp. But first, let's do an Oakley update sponsored by Arrow Truck Sales. Arrow Truck Sales has been in business for over 60 years and a longtime partner of Oakley Trucking and the Oakley Podcast. Trey Visor and Keith Wilson do a great job at putting you in the right truck to fit your needs and our needs here at Oakley. They carry all makes and models to choose from with on-site financing through transport funding. So whether you are a seasoned owner-operator or a first-time buyer, be sure to contact Keith Wilson at Arrow Truck Sales at 573-216-6047 and tell him you heard it on the Oakley Podcast. So here's the update today is EFS and fuel cards. This is the deal. We had one not long ago. We talked about fraud going on with EFS. Well, so we've implemented a thing called Secure Fuel. What this does to simplify it is basically EFS talks to Geotab that you're running and verifies that you are in that location. So when you swipe the EFS, you pull up to the pump, you swipe the EFS fuel card, before it activates it, it is going to talk with Geotab and make sure you are in that location or at least within a mile and a half, I think is the parameters. Then it will activate the pump for you. So this is something new that EFS implemented for us. Because we've still been getting fraud. You've been getting a text. So every time you fuel, then you receive a text that tells you the location, and you verify that to make sure that was you. Those are going to keep coming. You're still going to get those. So you can kind of a double verification here so that was really you. So keep that in mind. Texts are going to keep coming. EFS fuel card, you're going to swipe it. It's going to talk to the Geotab to make sure you are in that location. Then it'll activate the pump. Let us know if you have any questions, any problems with that. Be sure and let us know. Also, I don't know how I'd forget this, but, because we're recording this last week, but coming up this weekend is Christmas. So how about that? It's been a great year. Man, what a great year it's been for Oakley Trucking and Bruce Oakley, and I just want to take the time to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Enjoy the New Year too, New Year's Eve. We're going to take a little break. Well, just 1 week. We're not going to have an episode coming out the week between Christmas and New Year's. We'll crank back up. January the 4th will be the next episode coming out. So. And we've got a couple of those already in the works. Some good stuff that you're going to enjoy, I think, subjects that we've got coming up. But Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you for, the year we've had. What a fantastic year this has been to be with Bruce Oakley and Oakley Trucking as an owner-operator, as an employee. It's just been a very successful year, and I can't thank everybody enough that I work with, co-workers. It's just a great place to be and enjoy it. And I hope you take the time to kind of exhale a little bit through this holiday and enjoy and be thankful for the things that you have. It's a great holiday to celebrate. But listen to this episode with Randy Kemp. So talking today with Randy Kemp, that's an owner-operator here at Oakley Trucking. And basically I just wanted to, talk a little bit about your success story that you've had over your trucking career. And to do that, start us off by your hometown, family, hobbies, Randy?
Well, I grew up in Union City, Tennessee, northwest corner of Tennessee. Daddy worked at Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, built tires all his life, 32 years at the plant. Raised us kids, Mom and Daddy did. Raised me on the golf course. Daddy didn't fish or hunt. Raised me on the golf course every weekend. That's where I wanted to be with my dad. Still do.
You play golf now?
Still do. Not like I used to because of what I do, but me and Daddy still get together and go play golf. Left and went in the Army in 84. Dropped out of high school, went in the Army, got married, had a kid. Same old story, most people do. Got out of the Army in 87, came home, and went to work at that plant that my daddy worked at for 32 years. I did it for 2 years. And I couldn't stand being inside four walls. I said, Daddy, I'm going to go drive a truck. It's what I want to do my whole life. Didn't know a thing about it. So I started in 1989 driving for MS Carriers out of Memphis, first job, long time ago. Worked for several owner-operators over the years and stayed over the road for a while. And I've got 3 children, and my last one was born in '02, and that's when I decided I wanted a local job and raise him. So ran local for 10 years, and when he got grown, I wanted to live out my dream, and I always wanted to own my own truck. And talked to some drivers here that used to be in the LTL business with me, and seen their success. And I said, you know what?
So they came over here before you.
They did. Yeah, Matt Bilal was the one that got me here. He had been here 4 years, and we'd been friends for 20 years.
Did he come from where you were?
We used to work for the same company, but he worked for a different company then.
Okay.
Yeah.
But company drivers.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, I was home every night. Everybody thinks that's the life you want, but it's boring. It's not being home every night, but the job itself, it's the same thing every day, over and over. It's just like a factory, But I did that. The Army was good for me. 5 generations in the Army. My son now is actually flying home Monday night for Christmas for 2 weeks. So I'm taking 2 weeks off. I'm able to do that now. With my old job, I'd be lucky to get a day off. But yeah, he's flying home from Seattle for 2 weeks. Him and my new grandchild.
I was going to say, you got grandkids yet?
I do. Got one, and I haven't met her yet. She's only a few months old. So
awesome. That'll be fun.
I'm looking very forward to that.
Fun 2 weeks. What do you do when you're in your spare time?
I like to ride motorcycles and play golf in the summertime. Okay. Wintertime, not much of anything. I don't like cold weather.
You getting out on that Harley in the cold weather?
I have. In my younger days, it hurts a little more when you're older. I'll be 57 next month, and I feel very blessed. My grandfather turned 99 yesterday. He's a World War II veteran, and I still have one grandparent still living. So
that's amazing.
That
is really good.
It is.
You got some good genes there.
I hope so. I hope so.
Does he still get around good?
Yeah. He has to have a walker and stuff, but yeah, he still likes to do his own thing. He's
99.
99
That's
years
impressive,
old.
man.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about, I think it's interesting, your story, being a company driver, home every night for so long.
Right.
10, 14 years or whatever it was. How did that, going to become an owner-operator had to be a little stressful, a little exciting. Talk about that process and making that decision, quitting a company you'd been with a long time.
That was the hardest part.
Was it?
It was, because it made me nervous.
Sure.
I had never really walked away from a job. I was set, 14 years, almost 15 years I'd been with the company.
Top of the chain.
Yeah, I had my own route. I did my own thing. Management was a little sketchy, but that's a lot of the places you go to with the local stuff. because it's all about their numbers. And but it's just that was the hardest decision. I mean, I thought I was going to have a heart attack the week when I was talking with Dustin over here and trying to make that decision, talking with Matt about, the money situation. And, man, it was the hardest thing I did. But once I walked in that office and threw them keys on that table, and I said, I'm out.
No turning back.
There was no turning. And that was on Friday, and I was coming here that Monday. And by the time I turned around and got home, I felt like a load had been lifted off my shoulders. I got with Richard over at Tri-State, bought my first truck through him.
Lease on with Oakley Trucking, America's dry bulk hauler. Our owner-operators are the top paid in the country, and we will prove it to you. We offer steady year-round freight as well as a yearly annual bonus that increases each year you are leased to us. Oakley has multiple divisions, end dumps, hopper bottoms, and pneumatics, so we are sure to have something that works for your schedule and home time. Check us out on YouTube as well as our weekly podcast, or give us a call today and see why Oakley Trucking is everything you have been looking for. How was that process?
It was easier than expected.
Really?
It was very easy. Richard did a good job working with me. Of course, I bought a used truck to start out with.
What kind of truck did you buy?
It was a Mack Pinnacle, 18 model, and it was
good starter truck.
It was a good starter truck, very good starter truck. Kept that for a year, and with the way the market was, I always wanted my own Peterbilt, and I wanted it just like I wanted, so kept it for. Well, just under a year, I started talking with some people about where to order a new truck from. So
you were that confident. I mean, being here less than a year.
I had to do it. I mean, I was seeing the money I was making, and I knew I could do it. I mean, you've got to watch your money. If you got a good head on your shoulders, if you can't make it here at Oakley, you can't make it anywhere, because
Why is that?
The money's there. It's always there. Every week it's in the bank. And you know what you're making day to day. You see your mileage rate. You know what you're making. The loads are there. I mean, everything just falls into place.
I know we're kind of jumping around here, but was that a little shocker there when those checks started rolling in, or those direct deposits?
It was.
And you and your wife had to organize a little bit, or
right.
What'd you do?
Well, you can't look at those checks and say, hey, I'm making all this extra money now, and, go blow it, which I did a little. Wanted a new Harley, and she said no, so
that's the way it went.
We bought a camper.
Yeah.
Like to go camping, take the bike on the toy hauler, and went to Sturgis this year. But once that money starts rolling in, you got to look at it. You got to pay. My grandfather always told me, pay your bills first, eat second, and that's weighed on me.
It stuck with you.
It stuck with me after a few collection agencies in my younger days, and this, that, and the other. It sticks with you. But pay your bills first, and whatever's left over,
feed your family
and put some back.
Yeah, put
some back. That's what I like about the savings plan here at Oakley. Is I never see that $500 a week that goes in my savings. I never see it, and it builds up really quick.
Yeah,
really quick.
Do you use that for certain things, or is that just tax money, or just savings, just emergency fund?
More or less an emergency fund, or if I need it for any kind of unexpected repairs, which I hope I don't have. So,
how about spousal support?
Man, I've got a great wife. I mean, she is 100% supportive of what I do. We're together every day for a long time, and now we're not. And she supports what I do. We talk 3 or 4 times a day, and go home on the weekends, and we spend time together.
Means a lot, doesn't it?
It does. It does. But she understands what I do, and she's been around the life all her life. And the little town that we came from, that's what you did. You drove a truck or you worked in a factory. So there's plenty of people around there. She knows She knows what it's all about. She understands it.
You started to, you kind of teased us a little bit while ago with this new truck. So what did you end up getting?
I got a 23 389 Peterbilt, and I got to order the color that I wanted and everything, and I mean, I'm enjoying it. I really am enjoying the truck. It was my dream. I drove one for somebody else back in '94, and I always wanted my own. So that's what I did. And
big 23 Peterbilt. So
23
you get lots of looks.
85,000 miles on it now, and I picked it up in April. So,
oh yeah, you're covering some ground.
I am trying to,
Right.
and still home every weekend. That's the thing about it. You can run hard.
How does that happen?
A good dispatcher.
Who you got?
Peyton. I have to give kudos to him. He's easy to work with. He knows how I like to run. He knows I'm gonna be there when I say I'm gonna be there. If not, if I have a problem, I call him. If he don't hear from me, there's no problem. But just having a good dispatcher
Makes
really
a world
helps.
of difference, doesn't
It
it?
does. Somebody you can relate
Did
with.
it take a
and
little
talk
bit
to.
in the beginning for that to happen?
Oh yeah, it always does. Always does. Till you get to know one another, get to know one another and know how each other works.
You know, you've been hearing me talk about Lube Zone for a couple of years now. Well, now it's time you hear from one of our owner-operators. Listen to Mike Durbin talk about his experience with Lube Zone.
The price is great. The service is great. From the time when I pulled in the door to the time I pulled out was less than an hour. Best I've ever had as far as an owner-operator had my oil change. Checked the oil. They showed me the oil. They did all the portion on the wrenches. Showed me my rear end oil on the paper, and they did their job. It was very nice to go somewhere, get what you wanted done, and go. I was very pleased with it. And like I said, very satisfied. I will go out of my way from now on to go there.
Check out lubezone.com for all their services and all their locations, and tell them you heard it on the Oakley Podcast. What's the good and the bad here?
No, between the good and bad, I mean, everything I've experienced here has been good. The people are good. You meet people, you get their phone numbers, you talk to them if you got a problem or you're going someplace you're not sure about. We help each other. Everybody helps each other out here.
That's unusual, isn't it?
It is. It is. Some places you go, people just turn their head and, walk the other way. But not here.
I've heard that from other owner-operators that, they've made some good friends over here.
Yes, absolutely.
By being here, running into them, or going through the process of becoming an owner-operator.
It's nervous. It's a big step if you've never been an owner-operator. The first few weeks can be stressful till you get yourself rolling and you think, well, I got this truck payment coming up and I'm not making any money yet. But it will happen. I mean, it happened for me. And within 1 year, I was able to get in a brand new truck. And
you think your secret to success is what?
Running.
Just working.
Doing the job. Just do the job. You can't run. You're not going to come here and run 2 or 3 days and go home for 5. You've got to work.
Working. That's new.
I mean, you've got
new deal. Work.
You've got
it's
to
amazing.
work. I mean, that's what we do here. We work. You're going to get dirty. You're going to go in some places that are tight, and you're going to look at it and say, I can't get in it. Yes, you can. I mean, people do it all the time. Just take your time and be slow and be safe.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But, yeah, you've got to work. I work 4 or 5. I work sometimes 6 days a week, but I'm home every weekend, and I make a good living.
Yeah, and that means a lot, being able to do that. I can't say enough about dispatch, being able to get you guys home.
Right.
On the weekends,
yeah.
that's do you usually go through the house loaded?
I have. And
Or do you usually go home empty?
both.
Both of them?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I mean, it's been a little slow here recently, and at the past 2 weeks, I was home on a Thursday and then went and picked up something on Friday morning close to home to bring back home, and then leave out with on Sunday to go
I got you.
for Monday delivery. So that's what I like to do, is leave on Sunday early, get close to my customer for Monday morning by Sunday night, so I can get my 10-hour break. Then I can run all day Monday. So,
What's the next 5-10 years looking like for Randy Kemp?
hopefully better than I deserve.
Well, I bet they will be with the attitude you got.
Well, that's just how I am. Just how I am. I love what I do. I enjoy driving. It's what I've done all my life. It's all I know how to do, and I enjoy it.
Well, and you're good at it.
Well, thank you.
I say that. I haven't talked to the safety department.
Yeah, I
about
haven't.
MAV.
Yeah, I think they want to talk to me next. The camera keeps going off. Please slow down.
Get
Please
out.
slow down.
Y'all did a lot of work on those
Yeah.
trucks. Not only
Yeah.
you, but the other 23 that were
Right.
in it. I mean, I could not believe what y'all went through to be in the Oakley Truck Show here is what we're talking about
Right.
at our terminal. We had a little truck show, a little company party, and it was our first annual truck show to go with the party that we've had for years and years and years. But we had 24 guys sign up. Man, they cleaned up those trucks, shined them up. I mean, looked fantastic.
Spent money on
Spent
lights
money on
and
'em.
chrome.
Yeah.
And polishing, but it was fun. It was fun. It was a good experience, something different.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
You gonna do it next year?
Man, I don't know if I can get you out there to polish on my truck.
a
Miles,
lot
that'd be a
to
good
it.
job for Miles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of walking around with the camera, he can grab a rag.
Camera in one hand, bag in the other.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was my first party here. I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Yeah. Good people, good stuff, man.
Very
we got
good.
some good owner operators over
Do.
here. We really
We
do.
do.
Blessed to have them.
Could use some more.
Yep. Anything else you like to add, Miles, Randy? Good.
Nothing I can think of.
Good job, man. Hey, to our listeners out there, and everybody that watches and listens to the Oakley podcast, I mean, this is the kind of authentic owner operators we have at Oakley Trucking, and it's always good to hear their success story. And if you're one of those that's been out there thinking about it, wishing maybe you could become an owner operator one day, and it's just nerve wracking, and you're afraid to step out there. I mean, you hear Randy's story. I mean, what do you tell him, Randy?
If you're scared, stay home.
I mean, it's you can do it.
You can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
You just got to have confidence in yourself.
You do.
And be smart about it and do it. So if you're interested in doing that, you call us and we'll help you. And if you got questions for Randy, we'll put you in touch with him. He'll be glad to help you. So
I will.
hey, thanks for joining me, Randy. I
Sure.
appreciate you sitting down with me. Spur of the moment here is really good stuff, really good content. And as always, I appreciate everybody listening to the Oakley Podcast, and we'll talk to you next week.